when we use those terms, racial equity, they're thrown around a lot by a lot of different people these days. And to me, when I hear racial equity, I think of justice. I think of not just setting the standard for what students should have moving forward, but also righting the wrongs of the past. And this legislation does not specifically address those concerns if your goal is justice. You know, if you want to think back about the history of education, not just since the Bradford lawsuit, but inadequate education for poor people and Black people is a practice that goes back to the founding of our country. African Americans were forbidden in education during the period of enslavement. After emancipation, freedmen's schools existed, but their purpose was the maintenance of a servant class. And then during our long period of legal apartheid, African Americans attended schools whose only materials were the old cast-offs from the white schools. And in areas in need of farm labor, the typical school year was only 4 months long. In fact, Black students in the South did not experience universal secondary schooling until 1968. And so considering that history, not even thinking about housing discrimination, redlining, centuries of violence and terrorism against Black communities, the idea that the current bill, when we're talking about the blueprint bill, which 10 years from now would take a formula that is regressive and make it average, not even very progressive, but just average 10 years from now, the idea that that is going to solve for centuries of racial inequity, it's not going to do that. Now, to be clear, I have fought hard for the blueprint bill because we do need improvements. It does bring the funding formula up to a way better point than it is now, and that makes a tangible difference for educators and for students. So I fight for that, I believe in that, but I'm not going to pretend like that's going to achieve justice. We need race-based reparations to deal with the long history of enslavement and terrorism against Black communities that has never been dealt with. And then we need a progressive formula, not 10 years from now, but today, in order to fully address the harms and the inequities that our students in particular, our students in Black Baltimore are facing right now.